Okay, we're going to talk about Mike Novogratz, who's predicting everyone's going to explode except for Galaxy Digital. Just as a disclaimer, Galaxy Digital is an investor in Compass Mining, which I am an employee of. So there you go. There's some information for you. Galaxy Digital is a huge crypto merchant bank in the space. They're also in the headlines quite a bit recently for what happened with UST, Terra, and the Luna debacle. Mike Novogratz is coming back into the spotlight. He is the founder of Galaxy Digital, also used to work at JP Morgan, a bunch of other places. He's like a 3-time billionaire, impressive resume. He's coming out with some hot takes about what the next crypto market is going to look like, doubling down on hiring, but also saying that 2/3 of hedge funds, crypto hedge funds, are likely to fail. He's short equities, he's short general markets. He actually thinks that crypto could go down in the short term, but he's still building out for the next bull run. He wants to hire now, so Galaxy Digital is the premier leader going into the next market. Pretty interesting take because one, UST, Terra, Luna, his face was blasted on that. His arm was tattooed with Luna, so he got a bad rap from that. And then second of all, like the market is just, market's pretty rough. And he's like so bullish on it, even though most people are firing. We were just talking about Coinbase. They just rescinded a bunch of offers. Galaxy Digital seems to still want to hire folk. Zach, actually going to throw this mic over to you, get your take on it.
All right. So I think, Mike Novogratz is often seen as sort of, this crypto sage, especially among the TradFi audience. So for him to come out and say this, I think is certainly notable and certainly going to raise eyebrows when a report like this comes out. So, he may be right. There may be some scrubby crypto hedge funds out there that may be in for a rough go of it this next year or two. But who knows? In the long run, I think people who have seen these cycles play out are likely to be invested for that next cycle. We keep mentioning that. I will say that this whole Coinbase thing with the hiring and honestly the Terra collapse has created a lot of opportunistic investments around courting these people who are otherwise left in a lurch, right? Whether that's Terra projects who are considering whether or not to build their projects on the new Luna going forward, or whether it's Coinbase people who had a job lined up and then it's gone. You're seeing people at competing exchanges saying, hey, we'll take on these people. Binance US saying, hey, we'll hire some folks, and you're hearing something similar out of Novo here. So I think that's notable. Sort of speaks to, I don't know, the lack of talent in the space, right? Developers in Terraland are being courted actively by Polygon, Cadena, all sorts of chains, Solana, who are spinning up these funds that can invest in these builders for that next run up. So it's interesting to see kind of these talent dynamics play out, both in the wake of the Terra collapse, but also around these hiring decisions and these layoffs that we're seeing at some of these other firms. So Ben, I saw your hand. I'm tossing it to you. Go.
Absolutely. Well, let's just remember that there are scummy hedge funds everywhere, right? So that's not just a purely crypto thing. And what I think is important, is just given the speed it seems at which these hedge funds get spun up, it makes sense that they're not all going to survive, right? Again, that's just kind of the nature of the game. It depends on when you spun it up, what you invested in, how much of a war chest you had and acquired during this sort of bull run to begin with. And so, I think it's fair to be optimistic overall, but recognize that the sheer pace and number of these things cannot continue to go as they are. That being said, we're seeing, VC and other funds continue to pour money into the space and buy this dip that you spoke of. So maybe that lets, some things continue apace, some things downsize a little bit. But in terms of importing devs and employing people and everything like that, if Coinbase was revoking, employment offers from people, there are other crypto opportunities out there for people that do want them. And some people are seeing that hiring keep a piece. So I think, maybe it's an overstatement to say 2/3 of these things will be gone. There will definitely be a downturn, but this is kind of what I like about bear markets in some ways. You get to separate the wheat from the chaff and see who's maybe running a better ship than another. So that's an illuminating thing that can come out of an overall poor situation.
So I have a take on the whole hiring aspect of Galaxy. I think that they're doing it for positive PR. Because why wouldn't, after a big debacle, a really, really big debacle, so whoever their PR person is, you've got a really, really great team working with you. But anyways, so they had this big debacle with Terra Luna. Now they're coming at, then Coinbase said, we're not hiring anybody else because of this bear market, which people are upset about, me included. And now they're coming out to, now Galaxy Digital is coming out to say, well, you know what, I'm really bullish on crypto long term, and I'm going to hire more people to better prepare for the upcoming markets. To me, that is a really, really smart PR move. And I also think that it shows us all a learning experience for what we kind of can expect for this bear market. We're seeing a lot of people still building, which is really, really good. I'm excited about. I feel like this bear market may be different than the last one that we had, and the reason why is we actually have products that work. And I know it's kind of weird to call crypto things that are intangible products, but isn't that what they are at the end of the day? They're products, they're services. So even though the bear market does bring a lot of pain, a lot of duress, I still think it is a good time for people to continue to kind of take a step back, look at what they've invested in, look at what they're doing, how they're building, especially these hedge funds and these entrepreneurs, to where they can better hone their skills and they'll have more time, there will be less noise.
Just on the job, well, actually, before I get into that, Ben, I need to say, we miss you so much on this show. Your takes are just so pessimistic and amazing. You're like the antithesis to me, which is great.
Optimism in a bear market, come on.
All right. I mean, just on the job front, I really want to encourage people who have been thinking about entering this space to use the bear market to learn. There's a real opportunity here to learn, to do your own research, to get the skills. There's no formal education in crypto, and it's not only devs and engineers that are needed. So if you work in any other industry and have just had that little inkling of like, oh, I wonder what's going on over there, I really would love to delve into something. Now is the time to just do your own research, educate yourself, and when the bull market comes around, you're going to have all of the skills to join us in this wonderful, crazy, strange
Join the hash.
space. Join the hash!
We're actually looking for someone new. So, I don't know. Okay, last take on Galaxy Digital before we toss it over. I don't know who's next, so I'm just going to throw the mic in the air and someone will grab it and we'll keep going with it. But I do think it's important to note what Wendy said. I do think this was a pretty savvy move by Galaxy Digital. They went through a lot of fire, as any hedge fund that had Terra on their balance sheet was going to go through, right? They were the poster child for this token that failed. Every cycle there's something like this. Every cycle there's someone who explodes. Every cycle there's someone who launches a token that should never have been launched. Every cycle there's a token that's sold to people who should not be sold to. So I think they were sort of unlucky here, and now they're making some savvy PR moves, getting in front of the issue by hiring. We'll see if they end up hiring. Maybe CoinDesk can get on top of that. Get on top of the LinkedIn numbers, see if anyone joins Galaxy over the next few weeks. Be interested to see that.